In this video, we are going to talk about some hindrances or problems that we might experience and which can prevent us from developing a regular and quality meditation practice and eventually acquiring the skill of watchfulness. So let's begin. The first hindrance that I want to talk about is worldly desires. By that, I mean 24/7 engagement and pursuit of materialistic world, which at one level is important, but what happens is that it can lead to a lack of time finding the intention and the time to practice. ऑब्वियस सी बात है कि अगर आप दिन में पूरा दिन एंगेज रहते हो या फिर वीक में पूरा टाइम एंगेज रहते हो जस्ट टू एक्वायर मोर एंड मोर थिंग्स and consume more, obviously you will not be able to find enough time and do quality meditation practice. What also happens is because of worldly desires, when you sit to meditate, you are distracted and one experiences mind wandering. The monkey mind, which is the untrained mind, constantly jumps from one thing to another, all related to the materialistic pursuits. It may be pleasure or pain with respect to the content of your mind, but the mind is always distracted. Because of this, you can feel and experience a lot of impatience when you sit to meditate, and that impacts the quality of meditation. So, worldly desires is something we need to keep an eye on and make sure it does not distract and hinder our practice. Second problem is with respect to aversion. And what we mean by that is our inherent resistance to uncomfortable states. तो हो ये सकता है कि जब आप मेडिटेशन प्रैक्टिस में फर्स्ट टाइम बैठते हैं या फिर कॉन्स्टेंटली प्रैक्टिस करने का ट्राई करते हैं तो यू कैन एक्सपीरियंस अ लॉट ऑफ डिसकम्फर्ट फॉर अ वेराइटी ऑफ रीजंस. सो अवर्जन, the human tendency to avoid uncomfortable, difficult situation and always take the path of least resistance is something that can be a big hindrance to a good meditation practice. Because of this uncomfortable state, one can lack the intention to practice. Third hindrance is the experience of laziness and lethargy. Because meditation on a surface level seems like an activity of not doing anything. So, to a lot of people, it may seem that that activity is futile. And that is very important to understand that laziness, lethargy, or sleepiness, it may seem on a surface level that one is just sitting and closing their eyes and maybe sleeping, but that is not actual meditation practice. So one needs to make sure that laziness and lethargy is something that they avoid. The fourth problem is with respect to agitation, which can be because of two things: remorse of something that one may have done in the past, or worry about something that might happen in the future. So what happens is, because of these two things, when one sits to meditate, they feel a lot of agitation inside them. And when one feels agitated, a lot of mental resources are directed to those worry, to those remorse, in order to process them. So, obviously, there will be a lack of mental energy left to actually practice attention and awareness, which is required in meditation. सिंपल टर्म्स में, अगर आप जब मेडिटेशन करने बैठते हैं, आपके दिमाग में ऑलरेडी चीजें चल रही है जिससे आप एजिटेटेड है, तो आप क्वालिटी मेडिटेशन नहीं कर पाएंगे. एंड दिस एजिटेशन can also manifest as physical discomfort. Meditation requires you to be still, quiet in a certain posture for an extended period of time. तो जब आप कॉन्स्टेंटली एजिटेटेड हैं और आप फिजिकली डिस्कम्फर्ट फील करते हैं, तो आप अपने मेंटल रिसोर्सेस, एनर्जी सही डायरेक्शन में नहीं लगा पाएंगे. दैट इज अनदर इशू. एंड फाइनली, one big hindrance that occurs to establish a good practice is self-doubt. Because meditation is an activity that can lead to a lot of discomfort, can lead to experiencing things which are deep buried in our unconscious. होता ये है कि जब कोई पहली बार मेडिटेशन करने बैठता है और उससे वो एक्सपीरियंस, it's difficult for them, then they start doubting themselves कि maybe this is not for me. This is something that can only be done by religious people or monks, which is not true. So hesitation to make the effort will lead to not practicing. So it is very important that before we doubt ourselves and conclude that ये activity मेरे लिए है ही नहीं, it's important to be regular at the practice and try your level best. So that's it. These were the main hindrances and problems that one might face to establish a good practice: getting distracted by worldly desires, not having time, aversion to uncomfortable state, which can happen during learning any new activity, not just meditation, laziness and lethargy, not finding enough motivation, and superficially viewing meditation as something which is about not doing anything and not finding it productive. Fourth, agitation for something of the past or the future, feeling agitated and not being at peace with your body. And finally, self doubt, doubting yourself, doubting your abilities, and not practicing enough. So I hope through this video, you are much more aware now on what could be the problems and hindrances you might face. And if there's anything else that you are facing which is hindering to develop and establish a practice, let me know. Happy to help. Thank you for watching. That I'm Tao.